If you only had a little bit of time every week to work on marketing for your farm, what would be the most important things to work on? Well, this is a question that I've had to personally deal with over the last few months as I have gotten sick. And this is sort of a long-term illness, as it turns out, and I'm having to make some adjustments to how I spend my time. I'm going to share with you today what are the two most important things that I've pared everything down to. I think it's going to be insightful. Let's get started.
Hey there, this is Corinna Bench, and welcome to the My Digital Farmer podcast. In today's market, it's not enough to just grow your product. You've got to know how to sell it too. Welcome to the My Digital Farmer podcast, where we reveal online marketing strategies and tips to help farmers like you get better and more confident at marketing. Learn how to find more customers, increase your sales, and build a strong brand for your farm. Let's start the show.
Well, welcome to episode 259 of the My Digital Farmer podcast. I'm your host, Corinna Bench, one of the farmers at Shared Legacy Farms out in Elmore, Ohio. I'm also the founder of MyDigitalFarmer.com, which is all about trying to help other farmers like you get more confident in your marketing and sales strategies so that you can grow a profitable business. How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to the show. Big shout out to all my regular listeners. If you are new to the podcast, I'm really glad you're here today. Make sure that you subscribe to the show. Go check out some of my earlier episodes. Scroll through and see what catches your eye, but I do always tell people to start with the first 10 because I designed them to be an onboarding ramp into the farm marketing space. You can also get onto my email list because if you do, I'm going to send you like 3 months worth of content every week. You're going to get a curated selection of emails that's going to walk you through the marketing jungle. So definitely get onto that. If you want some help, go to mydigitalfarmer.com/subscribe. I get really good reviews for that. So check that out for sure. Today's episode is sponsored by my friends at LocalLine. Make the switch to LocalLine and scale your farm business. LocalLine is the all-in-one sales platform for farmers and food hubs. Increase your sales and streamline your processes with features including e-commerce, inventory management, subscriptions, online payments, price lists, and more. Now, unlike many generic e-commerce platforms, LocalLine is actually built for selling local food online. So whether you're a CSA farmer like us, or you sell meat, or you run a food hub, or you sell wholesale, or offer a herd share, LocalLine has the tools and features that you'll need to succeed. Subscriptions start as low as $49 a month with no setup fees, and there are no sales percentages. Plus, if you join LocalLine today, your onboarding manager will help get your storefront migrated at no cost. You'll be up and running in no time. And you guys, their service is outstanding. Bonus, as a podcast listener, LocalLine is also offering a free premium feature for 1 year with your subscription when you use my coupon code MDF2024. So any premium feature that you want, you get to choose. Make the switch today. Go to mydigitalfarmer.com/LocalLine and then enter in that coupon code MDF2024 to get that free premium feature. And now back to the show. Hey, so today my topic is going to be I think an interesting one for you. I'm also going to be really transparent and let you know about some stuff going on in my life right now that's really affecting me in my farm business as well as with My Digital Farmer. What I want to talk about today is kind of what is the bare bones basics that you've got to do for marketing. And I want to kind of share from the heart today because I've had to really explore this question over the last few months. I get this question quite a bit actually when I ask farmers, hey, what would you like me to teach you, or what do you wish you could know? If I could wave a magic wand and give you any information, what would it be? A lot of times they'll say, I would love to know kind of the short list of the most important things I have to do. Like if I only have so much time, what are the things I really have to do in marketing and what isn't that important? This is a question I've had to really come face to face with in the last few months because I have been sick. I have been dealing with some health issues since December, actually, of 2023. And I'm recording this on April 2nd, and I'm still not through it all. For a while there, I had a cough, like a chronic cough. For a while there, I had chest pain. I had to go into the ER because I thought I was having a heart attack. Turned out it wasn't that. I was having shortness of breath. And, at one point was told I might have pneumonia. I got treated for that. The cough went away. I was breathing again, but I still had like shortness of breath. And then I started having all these other like symptoms that ended up being acid reflux. At least that's the diagnosis that I have right now. Respiratory reflux is technically the term that's being used. And I'm still kind of in the midst of exploring it. That may not be the final call, but it was pretty debilitating. It kind of hit me in waves. It started obviously in like January, but then it was really bad in February to the point where for like 2 weeks, I couldn't really do a whole lot. And I started losing weight. And at the time, I didn't actually even know what it was for sure. And I was learning all about, how to manage a life when you have acid reflux. I'm going to do a whole podcast on this story one day when it comes to its resolution. But basically, I'm still kind of struggling. I'm in the midst of the journey. You might have noticed that my voice is sort of hoarse at times. I've been losing the ability to talk. And so it's really affected. I can't sing at church anymore. It's kind of made me wonder how much longer can I podcast until I get this figured out. So I've had some really tough moments in the last few weeks where I couldn't work a lot. I was on the couch or in my bed or in the dumps, not in a good headspace, trying to really just batten down the hatches and manage my health and really ask those questions about like what is really important. And yet, the farm business needed to continue to move forward. Luckily, I'm in my off season right now, so there isn't a ton to do. Most of my CSA shares have been sold. There's not a lot of stuff that we sell retail wise in the off season. So this has been the perfect time to get really sick and to heal. And I really do believe that I am healing, but it is a slow road. I mean, I've had to completely change how I eat. And even that, I'm still having symptoms occasionally and flare-ups. I don't know if any of you have ever had a really bad case of acid reflux. This is not just like, I need to take a heartburn pill. This is like debilitating, messed up kind of stuff. So anyway, there were some weeks there where I had to really just do the absolute bare minimum. And then there was Digital Farmer as well, which is kind of my side hustle, which I love so much. I love podcasting. I love working with Farm Marketing School. And, I'm like, okay, I had all these plans for things that I want to be doing this year. I'm still trying to hit those goals. And yet there was a period of time there where everything just kind of came to a halt. And I had to really look at what is the most important thing. So, this is hard for me to share with you guys because I don't want to look weak. I don't want to look like I'm falling apart because I don't think I am. But it's also hard just to say I have acid reflux because that also makes it look like I'm incredibly unhealthy in how I eat. And it's really a surprise because I don't think I live an unhealthy life. Anyway, there's all this like shame that's coming along with it. It's a very interesting headspace that I'm in. Today's podcast is sponsored by Farm Marketing School. This is my monthly membership where farmers can come in and build marketing assets one at a time in special 30-day build projects that I've created for you. Right now, there are like 8 projects inside of Farm Marketing School, and every month a new one gets added, and you basically subscribe for 30 days, or you can stay in for a couple months or 3 months. You can stay in the whole year. But what you're doing is you go inside and you decide this is the project that I want to work on. You take the class, the workshop class that's recorded, you just watch it, and then you build it yourself. So this is the DIY version of Accelerator. There's no coaching element or mastermind or Zoom meetups. It's just you going in there, watching the class that the accelerators saw live with me, and then working on it on your own. So if you're a DIY type of person and you think you can do it yourself, this is an amazing resource. There are projects in there for how to build a promotion plan, how to build your email nurture sequence, how to write a great weekly email, how to build the website homepage messaging, what goes on that homepage, how to build a lead magnet, and more. So if you want to see what's in the Farm Marketing School, you can head to mydigitalfarmer.com/FMS. And I encourage you to subscribe for 1 month. Check it out. I have a whole onboarding, like a crash course in marketing that I encourage you to take in your first week. There's an assessment inside of there that's going to help you know which elements you should build first. It's so good. And I would love it if you would give it a shot for a month. Let me know what you think. And if you decide you like it, you can stay in there for several months in the off season and get a ton of your marketing stuff done. But what I wanted to talk to you about today was what I have been doing as far as the business goes, and what are the absolute bare minimum things that I've been taking care of, because I'll have to tell you, I have been doing the absolute bare minimum and really just giving myself permission to cancel appointments, cancel anything that's not necessary, and just do the absolute minimum. So here's what I've been doing with my farm business. And, you know, it kind of boils down to two things, honestly. I do my weekly email on Fridays to my list, and there have been times when I've backed it off to every other week just because I needed to. And I might spend an hour on that, getting that together, and I send it out, and it's done just as well as always. And one of the things that I've noticed is that I have found a way to be okay with like imperfection. I used to spend like a really long time on those emails, and I would try to make sure they were really engaging. And, you know, I got to the point where I'm like, I'm just going to put something out there and it's going to have to be good enough. And it has been. You know, I send it out and I'll still, you know, I'll put something in the PS about how I still have some CSA shares left, and I'll sell like 3 or 4 that week because I sent the email. And, you know, that's my goal over the next few months until June 1st hits, well, really May 1st. I have to sell at this point 12 more CSA shares and then I'm done. And that's really been the only thing I've had to accomplish. So for me, the primary way to get to that is to make sure that I'm talking to my actual audience on a regular basis, the ones who have raised their hand, joined my email list, shown some interest. So they're getting a story from me every week, some kind of touch point. And then I'm trying to recruit some of them to join the CSA. And that's working. Like the weekly email or every other week email, it has been enough to slowly get me to that number. You know, I'm looking at the number 12 right now, and that feels very doable in the next 8 weeks, especially because I'm averaging like three a week. So I'm not freaking out about how I still have all these things to sell, because to me, it's like, well, what I'm doing is working. The other element that I have been making sure that I do, besides the weekly email, is the social media. And so that's sort of the top of funnel strategy, my primary channel where I reach new people. But even the way in which I'm doing social media is different. In the olden days, I felt like every day I was posting something, I was looking for something to post, and I just felt distracted by it, and I wasn't really able to focus on a lot of other things because there was always this lurking feeling of make sure you post something on social media. Just because my life right now hasn't been able to do that. Like I physically can't be outside seeing what's going on, taking pictures of things. I've had to switch strategies, and I've moved almost exclusively to a pre-posting schedule. And so there's one day a week where I spend, the first time I did it, it took me like 2 hours, but now it's taking me about 40 minutes to get a week's worth of posts scheduled into Meta Business. And I have been astounded by how quickly that process goes. And I'm loving it. I'll sit down and take a look at some of the categories of posts that I think need to be out there, like a question post to drive engagement. I might have 2 or 3 that are more promotional, where I have a picture of Farmer Kurt, because those I know do really well. And then I'll make sure I talk about how we still have some CSA shares left. I have my weekly posts where I talk about the details, the offer layout of the CSA. I kind of repeat that one, but change out the picture, and I just kind of copy and paste the text. And I have like a kitchen tip. And it's interesting because I'm going back onto my computer. I'm just finding photos from last year. I'm like, oh, that's a really good photo. And I'm putting it in, and then I'm adding the copy that I've used before in prior posts. And I'm just repeating stuff. And that's why it's going so fast, is because I'm able to copy and paste things from another document and just repurpose it. And right now, the focus has really been on just talking about the CSA and getting people onto my email list for the online store. And so that's really where I'm going with my content. And really the most time-consuming part has been finding the pictures that are on my camera roll, well, actually on my desktop. But I've loved it because I've posted the stuff. I look at it and I kind of say, this is meeting my goals of trying to reach new people, make people aware that I exist, make them product aware, answer frequently asked questions. And as a result, I don't think about social media for like 7 days. I just sort of feel like, okay, I've checked that off my list. And I can go back and see the results. I can go back and notice, oh, those got a lot of comments, or those are being shared a lot. Those must be things I need to repost again in a couple weeks and repurpose. And then as I am able throughout the week, if they're doing something cool like seeding in the greenhouse and I happen to have energy and I'm out there, I take the photo and I add it, and it's like a bonus second post of the day. But my mind has sort of been able to let go of that need to constantly be on social. And it's been so freeing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. And I'm going to do this forever, especially because I feel like I have it down now and I can get it done in 45 minutes a week. Okay, so that's kind of it. Like those 2 things, writing the weekly email to the people I already have in my pipeline who have come onto my list, and then the social media, which is more top of funnel, making people product aware and trying to get people to get onto my email list. Those are sort of the calls to action there. Those are the 2 bare bones things that I've been focusing on. Now, I have other marketing channels that I could be leveraging. I could be doing more with Google Business Profile. I could be doing more with writing a blog post for my SEO for my website. But really, I'm just focusing on those 2 things, and I'm spending about 2 hours a week on it. And it's also maybe important to say that the results, there's an ROI on those 2 hours of time. Like I haven't noticed a huge drop in numbers. In fact, I've noticed an increase. Like my sales are a good steady what I need them to be right now, if not more than I kind of expect as far as CSA. I'm meeting my goals. And I guess that's the part that really excites me, that I have figured out, I have gone as bare bones as I can. I've dropped all the superfluous work that I used to do, and it hasn't really mattered. All those superfluous things didn't seem to be a difference maker. And the 2 most important things, writing the weekly email and creating content for social media, are kind of the main things that are, at least for me, driving the machine. As far as Digital Farmer goes, I've sort of had to take a look at what are the most important things right now for that. And, it's the podcast. How can I figure out how to get a podcast every week? I've had to make decisions about how can I shorten the podcast and make so that I don't have to talk as long, since it's really hard on my voice. Or can I repurpose, podcasts from the past and kind of bring those back around until I get out of this healing season? And then Farm Marketing School, like really trying to look at how can I continue to create new modules within Farm Marketing School and support my students in there. And that's been doable, right? Like I can touch base with them. I can have my monthly Zoom meetup with them. I've been able to find time to work on a testimonial project build, and that'll be releasing sometime in late April, early May. So I'm still able to meet those goals. but on a very pared down schedule. And I guess that's been the big surprise for me, like that I really don't have to do a whole lot to push the flywheel, to keep the marketing machine going, because I have built all these other elements in my system, right? I have my email sales sequence that runs on autopilot for me when someone gets onto my email list. I have a nurture sequence that goes out as an email as well that warms people up once they get on my list. And I have an onboarding email sequence when people buy. I have a team of people that are ready to do the onboarding here starting in May. My CSA coach who will lead the Facebook group and the content in there, and she'll just repurpose what we've done in the past. So I've got these pieces in place that are doing some of the heavy lifting for me because I've taken the time to build the machine. And I'm so grateful now that I have that, because now I can sit back in a time when I really need to take care of myself, and I can just trust that the machine will work. And I only have to push the flywheel a few hours a week in each of these areas to keep things moving. So that was sort of my message for today. I wanted to kind of just share with you where I'm at health-wise. If there comes a point where suddenly there isn't a podcast that drops on Wednesday like it normally does, I guess I want you to be aware of the reason why that may happen is because there may just be a week where I'm physically not able to do it. I really hope that doesn't happen. I feel like I'm on the mend, but should that happen, that is why, and I have every anticipation of coming back. All right. Well, that is my message for you today. I want you to try to figure out what are the bare bones basics that I can get away with, because I'm all about that now. Like, good enough marketing is like my mantra, and I want that for you too. There's no reason we need to be doing all kinds of crazy stuff if it really isn't making a huge difference. And I'm actually grateful for this whole experience. It's teaching me so much about what's important to me. It's showing me what I do and don't have to do. It's making me really love on my family. And I think it's also probably going to protect me from, long-term health results that I might have had later had I not known that this was going on. So I'm continuing to move forward. And today I want to challenge you to look at your marketing madness, the activities that you do from day to day and week to week. And I want you to pick out the things that are most important. And I'm going to argue that the weekly email is something you definitely need to be doing, the very bare minimum, and then have some way to reach people in another area that is more top of funnel. Social media to me is kind of the obvious place, but I wouldn't spend, oodles and oodles of time in social media. I think the power is really in mastering how to do that weekly email. If you want to learn how to do that better, by the way, I have an amazing online course inside of Farm Marketing School that teaches email marketing. I think it's outstanding. And I have 30-day project builds for 3 of the different email assets. So the onboarding email sequence to build that, the nurture email sequence to build that, and the sales sequence to build that. They're all really important. Oh, and there's also a weekly email challenge. So I guess I have 4 projects that's going to teach you how to write great weekly emails. So if you want to get really good at that skill, head to mydigitalfarmer.com/FMS, subscribe for a month, take one of those classes and see what you think. I think you're going to get hooked because you're going to learn a ton. It's going to make a difference. That skill is definitely one I would recommend. All right, that's all I got for you today. It was kind of short and sweet. And please pray for me, pray for my healing, and that I would be able to go the distance and persevere and make the lifestyle change that's required and get through this kind of dark tunnel that I'm in right now. I see the light at the end, but it just still feels a long way off. So be praying for me. I'm so grateful for all of you, and I will hopefully catch you next week. Same time, same place.